All right, so a lot of viewers of this channel are busting their ass at some soul-crushing 9-to-5 job where their boss is breathing down their neck all day, and they're thinking there's got to be a better way to make money without selling your life away. Well, get this. There are people out there sitting on their couch in their underwear making $80,000 to $100,000 a year doing jobs that you probably don't like doing because they're repetitive and boring. Now, I'm not talking about the usual suspects like software developer or graphic designer that everyone talks about in their videos. I'm talking about dull jobs, the kind where people at parties change the subject very quickly when you tell them what you do. And today I'm going to be breaking down 7 dull remote jobs that pay well. And let's jump into it with number 1 on the list, which is going to be a social media investigator. And they typically get paid about $44,000 to $80,000 a year, with a median of $58,000. Now you're probably thinking, Shane, that kind of sounds like someone who stalks people on Facebook. And you're not entirely wrong. Sorta. But here's the thing. Companies, insurance agencies, and law firms will actually pay you to dig through people's online dirt. And I found this comment from someone who does this job. We're typically requested to do social media surveillance right along with standard surveillance. $250 per subject, and they typically take less than 30 minutes initially, then a few minutes a day to check for updates. And basically, if someone claims that they hurt their back at work and can't lift anything, but then posts Instagram videos of themselves doing CrossFit, you're the one that finds that footage and saves the insurance company thousands of dollars. And here's what's crazy. Most of the time, you're just looking at public profiles. People put their whole lives online and don't even realize that they're sabotaging themselves. You're just getting paid to find out. Some investigators even report finding evidence that outshines video surveillance, like subjects dancing on TikTok or posting about sports activities right after claiming an injury. And the best part, you don't need a fancy degree. You just need to be organized, detail-oriented, and have top-notch internet stalking skills, which, let's be honest, most of us have already developed for free. All right, job number 2 is compliance analyst. They make about $74,000 to $124,000 a year with a median of around $95,000. Now, I'm not the only one who thinks compliance is a hidden yet very boring goldmine. One Glassdoor commenter, for instance, said, traditionally, compliance roles offer very stable hours and don't really work more than 40 hours from my understanding. Another noted, a relevant degree is not required as I believe it's mostly just learning the systems and learning on the job. Even at firms where work-life balance can be an issue, you don't typically see the compliance folks feeling the same burden. So what do compliance analysts actually do? They basically make sure that companies don't break laws and regulations. You're the person who says, hey, we probably shouldn't do that because it could result in a $5 million fine. So you review processes, monitor transactions, and identify potential risks. And it's all about keeping the company out of trouble. And since rules are constantly changing, companies are desperate for good compliance people.
Quick break, this video is sponsored by me. Most of you don't know that I actually have my own coaching program on personal branding and then growing and making money on YouTube. And this is good for complete beginners, maybe even people who just want to get a job by growing their personal brand, all the way up to people who are very advanced on YouTube. And they get to work directly with myself and my team to help them reach their goals. Now, we are opening up 3 to 5 spots, and this is pretty rare. We usually don't have these open. We usually only limit them to select people. But we're opening up 3 to 5 spots, and you can check those out down in the description and the pinned comment below. And in this program, you'll get to work directly with myself and other people who are highly successful on YouTube. Just as an example, Sean was able to go all the way from being stuck, not making very much money on his channel, to making over $500,000 a month. Now, that's an example of one of my more advanced students, but there's lots of examples of people who started off from scratch and they got to 5K a month, 10K a month, etc. So check that out down in the description and the pinned comment below.
All right, job number 3 is credit analyst, and they make about $68,000 to $121,000 a year with a median of $90,000. Now, before you zone out thinking this sounds like another boring financial job, here's what actual credit analysts say about the role. One analyst shared, you gain a great foundational knowledge in credit and lending, which opens up an enormous amount of doors for you in many different subfields of banking. You get trusted very early on in your career to conduct real financial analysis, and you network with a lot of different product partners and other departments at the bank. So, credit analysts basically determine if people or businesses are likely to pay back loans. You look at financial statements, credit reports, market conditions, and other factors to make your decision. And here's what's cool. You're essentially getting paid to learn how money and credit really work. Most people pay thousands for financial education that's not half as valuable as what you'll learn on the job doing this. And the best part is this is another field where you don't necessarily need a specialized degree. Many credit analysts get promoted from cashier or customer service positions. So just be organized and good with numbers. Next is going to be a pay-per-click analyst, and they make about $65,000 to $105,000 a year with a median of $82,000. Now, if you have no idea what PPC or pay-per-click is, these are the people who manage those ads that you see on Google and Facebook. They're the ones deciding how much you bid on keywords with audiences to target and how to optimize campaigns to get the most bang for their buck. And one analyst described their day, making new campaigns, adjusting ads, analyzing keywords, answering emails, setting up reports, analyzing income traffic in Google Analytics. And it's basically a mix of data analysis and creativity. You need to understand the numbers, but you also need to know what messages will resonate with people. And the cool thing about pay-per-click is that it's extremely measurable. Unlike other marketing roles where success can be subjective, in pay-per-click you know exactly how much money you spent and how much revenue came from it. And that means when you do well, you have concrete proof of your value. And companies are desperate for good pay-per-click analysts because digital ad spend keeps increasing every single year. Plus, if you can demonstrate that you consistently generate more money than you spend on ads, you've basically got job security for life. Now, by the way, if you're thinking, Shane, these sound great, but how do I actually get into them? Well, I have a complete master list of courses, certifications, certificates, etc. that are either completely free or extremely affordable. And I keep this list updated. And you can check that out by clicking the link down the description and the pinned comment below. And I highly recommend that you do, because those will absolutely help you land these jobs. All right, job number 5, bank reconciliation specialist. And in this job, you make about $59,000 to $100,000 a year with a $76,000 median income. Now, I know what you're thinking. That sounds mind-numbingly boring. But hear me out, because the people who do this job absolutely love it. One specialist wrote, "This is my favorite part of the job. I get to find many mistakes. It's surprising all the different ways that people can make mistakes, which is okay. It's also a very important task." Another said, "First of all, I'm glad to see I'm not the only one who loves completing reconciliations." And yeah, bank reconciliation specialists are basically financial detectives. They compare internal financial records with bank statements to make sure everything matches up. And when there's a discrepancy, they figure out why. It's perfect for people who find satisfaction in making things balanced. And it's kind of like solving puzzles every day, but you get paid really well for it. And the thing is, many companies are desperate for really good reconciliation specialists because it's a job that requires attention to detail and patience, which aren't exactly common traits. Plus, you don't need a degree, just to be organized and good with Excel.
What's happening, guys? In the editing process of this video, and I have an opportunity for a select group of people. So these are people who are serious about growing their personal brand on YouTube. So basically, we figured out recently how to grow a personal brand and combine all the upsides of a personal brand with the upsides of automation, right? Using AI, using things like this to basically grow your personal brand 10 times faster, which in the past used to take decades to do. And now you can do it significantly faster. And you can do this to get a better job. You know, we work with beginners that just want to get a better job with their personal brand. You can do this to make money as a side hustle. We work with a lot of people like that. We can do this to make more money if you already have a side hustle or a small business. Or if you're already crushing it on YouTube, we can help you crush it 10 times more. We've worked with people like that as well. I mean, I literally can show clients at each level. People that we've gotten from 0 to over 10K, 0 to like over 30K, from like 1K per month all the way up to 185K per month, from around 30K per month all the way up to over 500K per month. So literally at every single level, and it works for everyone in every situation. With that being said, we are only working with 3 to 5 people, and they have to be people who are very serious, right? People who are dedicated to making this work. So if you think you're that type of person, go ahead and apply it down in the description and the pinned comment below, and you could be part of our group of 3 to 5 that we help. So see you there. Have a good one.
All right, next job is copy editor, and you'll make about $55,000 to $96,000 a year with a median pay of $73,000. Now, copy editors review written content to fix grammar, spelling, and style issues. And they make sure everything is clear, consistent, and error-free before it gets published. And what's great about this job is that it can be done 100% remotely, and demand has actually increased with the rise of content marketing and digital media. Every website, blog, magazine, and business needs someone to make sure their writing doesn't sound like it was created by a fifth grader. And if you're the type of person who mentally corrects grammar mistakes when reading articles or gets annoyed by misplaced apostrophes, you might as well get paid for that skill instead of trolling people in YouTube's comment section. Now, most copy editors have English or journalism degrees, but what really matters is your eye for detail and the command of the language. And there are plenty of online courses and certifications that can help you break into the field without a formal degree. Again, check out my master list down in the description and the pinned comment below. Next is a tax specialist, and this position brings you about about $58,000 to $98,000 a year with a median of $75,000. And tax specialists help individuals and businesses navigate the complex world of government theft. Taxation. They identify deductions, prepare returns, and make sure that everything is compliant with tax laws. And according to one tax professional, working in tax is both interesting and challenging. And the type of work is quite varied, depending on the type of client, their industry, international requirements, or the particular type of transaction they are undertaking. And as part of your work, you will be required to resolve complex tax issues and determine appropriate tax treatments for your clients. Now, the great thing about tax work is that it's recession-proof. Even in economic downturns, people still need to file taxes, and with tax laws constantly changing, there's always demand for specialists who can stay up to date. Plus, while it's typically busier during tax season, many tax specialists report having very reasonable hours the rest of the year, making it great for work-life balance. Except during tax season, your life's gonna suck. And contrary to popular belief, you don't necessarily need to be a CPA to work in tax. Many firms hire tax specialists with bachelor's degrees in accounting, finance, or even business. Now, if you want more jobs that are similar to this, I made an entire video that went viral, people loved it, and it's called 15 boring but realistic work from home jobs that are always hiring, and you can watch that by clicking right here.